Thank you for hosting our talk. I'm Daniela de Paulis. I'm an affiliate artist at the SETI Institute, and today I'm giving the talk about a project I'm developing with Marilee Jensvold, who is a primatologist at Fauna Foundation. The pilot project we are presenting is temporarily called Patterns in Cognition of a Simulated Message from Space. And this is a spin-off project. I don't seem to be able to scroll through the slides, sorry. Okay, there is a problem with my PowerPoint. Apologies about that. Okay, so this pilot project is a spin-off project from Assigning Space, which is a long-term work I've been developing since 2019. It has been publicly presented in 2023. And it was an art project in which we transmitted a simulated extraterrestrial message using the Trace Gas Orbiter, which is a spacecraft orbiting Mars and owned and managed by the European Space Agency. And the signal containing the message was received by the Green Bank Telescope, the Medicina Radio Antenna in Italy, and the Allen Telescope Array. And you see also the list of the collaborating institutes who made this project possible. Together with these observatories and space agency, we also worked with a team of specialists from various fields. So the project produced a large amount of material that also suggested several spin-off activities, including these patterns of perception pilot project. The message contained in the signal was shared in the public domain as raw data, and a team of citizen scientists took about 9 days to extract the message contained in the raw signal, and they visualized it as an image containing white dots and on a black background, so a very minimalistic kind of image. And this image also was interpreted, decoded for more than a year on the dedicated Discord channel. And the interpretation...
we lost your screen. We are now in a different screen setting.
Interesting.
Slides are not shown anymore. When you clicked after the image reconstructed,
right. Okay, it doesn't update the screen, right? Okay, I will, if you don't mind, I will stop sharing and maybe start again the whole procedure. Okay, let's hope this works.
You have a slide like this.
Yes, now I will use the full screen.
I thought your background, but that was a slide. I got confused.
Okay. Do you see now the slide with the Discord layout?
Yes.
Okay, great.
I thought it's a background screen, yes. Sorry, got confused.
Okay, no worries. So the community of citizen scientists joined the dedicated channel on Discord, and that is where most of the interpretation process has been taking place since the launch of the project on 24 May 2023. So there has been a very large amount of images, sounds, words that has been produced as part of the decoding process. And most of these data are actually collected by citizen scientists. It's really interesting to see that citizen scientists have been also reflecting upon their own process. So they have been agents of self-reflection of their own work. So they have been active in the decoding process and also reflecting upon their own work. And one particular scientist, his name is Gianfranco De Vito, has been doing quite a substantial amount of quantitative data on the material that has been shared by the community. And he found that between 24 May 2023, which is the date of the launch of the project, to 30th January 2026, there has been 66,256 messages exchanged in the 153 chats of the channel, for a total of 563,879 words. I shouldn't say this. And sorry, I didn't update the number of books, but just to give you an idea, it would equal to a very large library of books if we were to print all these words in physical forms. Plus, there was a very large amount of attachments, including 9,000, more than 1,000 images shared by 174 active citizen scientists. And although there were several thousand subscribers in the channel, eventually 405 people were really active in the decoding and the interpretation process. So there has been also some qualitative analysis done by other citizen scientists who have been analyzing also the kind of interpretation and decoding process, and it results that most of these interpretation and decoding required an artistic approach, primarily a scientific one, mathematical, symbolic, narrative, poetic, meta, satirical, and so on and so forth. I would like to stress that these are very preliminary results. We don't have funding yet for these projects, so it has been primarily conducted by people who invest their own time out of their own interests. So it is really just a very preliminary approach to the quantitative and qualitative data analysis. Also, there has been some suggestion of using further AI tools for analyzing, for qualitative analysis, and trying to see how these 405 people interpreted this image that became quite iconic within the community. And this is just a list of some of the possible tools, but we know that AI is improving as we speak. So these tools might change just in a few weeks, or So by the time we have funding and we approach the project more thoroughly, we might be using other tools for this. How did this pilot project came about? Essentially, it was really suggested, inspired by Dr. Sherry Wells Jensen, who somehow, indirectly introduced this possibility to me as a way of extending the process of interpretation to non-human species. To the question of how could we decode a message from extraterrestrials, Dr. Wells Jensen answers: give it to every adult and every child on the planet who wants it. Toss it to the dolphins and whales. Show it to the other primates. And we need to encourage people to express that data in all kinds of ways, in strings of ones and zeros, in grids, using different pitches of sound, with colored lights, played backwards, interpreted as instructions for origami, expressed in beadwork or knotted threads, or in mosaics made of M&Ms. And we should do this because we can have no idea how it was meant to be interpreted. The very worst thing we can do is to leave it to professionals to fuss over. It'll be a glorious all-hands-on-deck cacophony of thought and conjecture. So this is actually what really happened in the decoding and interpretation process with humans. There was indeed a glorious all-hands-on-deck cacophony and thought and conjecture. So I was really struck by the insightful, let's say, provision of Dr. Wells Jensen in imagining how the decoding of a message from extraterrestrials will take place. So extending this process to non-human species was really the next step. And so together with people at the SETI Institute, we approached Marilee Jensvold. Marilee, I'll leave the floor to you for describing the pilot project.
Great, thanks. So, hi, thank you for having me and this opportunity to talk about this work. So, as Danielle has really led up to, we were just interested in a pilot study of what were the patterns of response in chimpanzees. Fauna Foundation is the only chimpanzee sanctuary in Canada, and has provided sanctuary for over 30 non-human primates over the last almost 30 years. Next slide, Daniela. Sorry, I'm trying to change it myself. We did a couple of different ways of presenting the star map to the chimpanzees to get their response. This pilot study was done in the summer of 2024. We presented simultaneously, again, there's sort of three different levels of this research. One is we presented them with three laminates simultaneously. One of the laminates had the star map and the two others had a random array. And we were interested in which ones the chimpanzees would interact with. We recorded their behaviors both with videotape and using live data collection. We recorded whether the interactions were passive or active towards the laminates, and then recorded which ones that they were interacting with. Next slide. And so in this first analysis, we found that the chimpanzees directed more behaviors towards the star maps than the random arrays. And those behaviors were more active than what would be expected if it was random. So you can see that in this table here. And then I'm going to show you some videotape of what these interactions were like. So next slide, please. In this one, we've slowed it down so you can see it. Maya picks up the laminate, she holds and kisses it, and she puts it down when the observer comes. And that was the star map that she was interacting with. And the next one, please. Oh, yeah, it's just... in this one, this is Lulis. He gives the star map to the caregiver. So he's sliding that out. You can see all three of them are available. She didn't, we're not getting the audio on this, but she didn't prompt him for that. She's just hanging out with him. There's another one where he does the same thing. So he's approaching the caregiver, and that's the one that he slides out to her. Completely his choice. He's not asked to do this or anything like that. It's just part of his interaction. Okay, the next one. In this one, Tatu's got the laminate. She closely inspects it. Again, she's chosen that one. She had a choice. And then she points to the clusters and she rubs them. So she's really studying it. Tatu does like things that are very detailed. Fine like that, and black is her favorite color. So in this next one, you can see she's pointing to the clusters and rubbing them. Again, pointing to another cluster there. Okay, then the next one. In this one, Sue Ellen is presented with the three. They're hanging for her. The star map is the middle one. So she approaches it, and she pulls it down. And then Sue Ellen was alone that day. No other chimps were in her space, her suite that day. But later in the day, the caregivers found the laminate in a different location. So she had taken it with her that day. Okay, the next slide. So in the next presentation, it was just marking. So we printed it either on a black background or on a white background on paper. And the chimps either had chalk or crayons. And then tried to get those back at the end of the day. And next slide. Please. Yeah, so this is two of Tatu's, and you can see on the image on the left, it does appear that many of her markings tend to be on the clusters themselves, and perhaps so on the right, need to find a statistician that can do some kind of a cluster analysis. I just know how to do chi-squares. And then the next one, please. Oops. Yeah, these are Maya's that folks got back, and you can see she's made some marks on the left. She's got a black crown. You can also see sort of dirt and debris from the day. And then on the right, it looks like she used a purple crown and an orange crown, but connecting them. And we've done research on their artwork, and we do find that the chimpanzees have a sense of aesthetic in terms of balance and corner marking, center marking. So this was not that surprising of a response. And then the next one, please, Daniela. Yeah, so these were Sue Ellen's from the marking day. So she had a very different way of interacting with the paper. And then the next slide. So then the third sort of way that we presented it was Tatu was raised as a deaf human child in the 70s and continues to use the signs throughout her life. And so her caregivers had conversations with her about her response, asking her things like, "What is this?" And with the star map, and she signed about the colors, commenting that they were black. She did sign red and also white. And I just thought it's just interesting. This week, a new study has come out that showed chimpanzees' responses to crystals, and they presented crystals and other stones to chimps, and the chimps gravitated towards the crystals in a variety of different methods of presentation. I think it's really funny. The caregivers had to bribe the chimps with goodies in order to get the crystals back at the end of the trials, which does... I could go on and on about this, but it definitely leads some credence to our methodology, since they used a very similar method. Back to you, Daniela.
Thanks, Marilee, and apologies for the technical issues. Just something wrong with my computer at the moment. Okay, I will just close just some final remarks about our work. This is an ongoing project, and why is it interesting to SETI? We think that by analyzing pattern recognition around the signing space, our research aims at comparing interpretation results from various animal species with diverse cognition, perception, anatomy, and ecological adaptations. This could help identify SETI's limits and strengths in interpreting a potential extraterrestrial signal or message. It would also help SETI in making predictions about possible forms of alien communication. By understanding how various species interpret the same image, we might be able to highlight possible pathways to cognition generalized across various species. This knowledge would in turn help SETI make possible estimates on the cognitive patterns of an extraterrestrial species. The team on this proposal takes an interdisciplinary and humble approach to search for patterns of perception on Earthlings. This can inform human factors in the search for technosignatures from space. And a final mention to all our supporters and funders also on the project's website, and special thanks to Fauna Foundation and all people involved that are credited on the website. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your extremely interesting talk. And we have two amazing talks here. So Andreas, please join us for discussion. Yes, excellent. All right, so we have some ongoing discussion after Andres' talk. I suggest we start with those questions, and meanwhile we collect more questions for Daniela and Mary. All right, so for Andres' question about possible bias analyzing only YouTube data, and what could be the biases compared to traditional medium and also social media.
So I'm not sure what is meant with bias. So what we are trying to do is
different audience, maybe different kind of engagements.
Yeah, so in this case, we did not analyze traditional media coverage. I mean, the original content of media coverage, because our goal was to look at what's happening on YouTube, how are detection claim cases framed on YouTube, and how do users react to it. So that's the ecosystem we looked at, because as a matter of fact, the use of traditional news media is declining in a lot of parts of the world, including the trust in traditional news media, and the use of social media, especially YouTube, is increasing, and it has become one of the main sources for science information. That's why we looked at it, trying to give a picture of what's happening there, what are the narratives, how do people react to it. The structure of these narratives and how people deal with it can be, of course, very different from what's happening on X, for example, or what's happening on Facebook, on Instagram, but also, of course, what's happening on news media websites and, their comment sections. So yes, there will be a difference, but in this case, we focused on YouTube, where. And that we try to show that as well, where a lot of individual science influencers, some more credible, others less credible, have a very huge impact, and by far surpass the user numbers and reach of institutional science communication channels, for example.
Right. Thank you so much. Yes. So David Clemens says that he has data on a traditional media coverage on Venus phosphine, and if you're interested, he could share with you. So that would be something to see.
Please share.
Yes. So Benjamin Fields is interested in practical advice. So he says that if you would be having some candidates for SETI detection, which are definitely not detection, so anyone to communicate, this is interesting to investigate, but it's not detections. So how to be what kind of general principles you can recommend to avoid this kind of false claim or impression of it?
It'd be a longer discussion that Benjamin and I should have somewhere else, I think. But to keep it maybe short, is that I know what is most exciting for you in this case are that these are potential candidates. As soon as you say potential candidates to certain journalists, they will turn this into alien life probably, or maybe found, or something like that. So if you want to do public outreach, which you should, because I think that's important in this field, also because it's a very expensive field, we need societal legitimation for it, then maybe try to engage people in your process of what you're doing, your kind of research, why it matters, what are potential benefits for society. Maybe not talk so much about, I found a candidate signal, because as soon as you do that or make that the newsworthy part of your story, you will come out with a green alien picture somewhere. And
yeah, they just hear I found, and the rest is not important. Okay, thank you. So Abel Mendes suggesting to have some kind of optional filters or tagging of non-trusted sources or channels. What do you think about that?
I think Anna Maria already gave a response there. So this,
what's your opinion?
in most of North America and European countries, it's probably against the constitution to establish those kinds of controls on science or quasi or semi-science content. So that's probably basically impossible to do or to control. So I recommend investing in good and evidence-based communication rather than trying to control the rogue communicators.
Yeah, that's another danger, because it opens another possibility to control something, information, and that's we want to have a free access to it. All right, good. I agree with this. So now Benjamin Fields asked Daniela and Mary. He's fascinated with experiments, I guess, with chimpanzee, and asking what about other intelligent animals like dolphins, octopi, corvids, elephants, etc. Are you planning anything like that? Or
Yes, the plan would be to extend this methodology to as many species as possible. But at the moment, this was a pilot project that was pretty much funded by myself together with Fauna Foundation and Marily. So this was something we have been developing out of our own interest in collaboration with citizen scientists who, as I said, they are doing this amazing work of self-analysis on their interpretation process. So as soon as there will be funding opportunities, we will definitely continue with, yes, thank you, Catherine, cats and more species. So this is an ongoing project that might last a few years. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so Zayed Jafari is asking, how would you pick up interpretation or choose interpretation of different species which can have different sensory systems? But I would also extend it to different cultures, what you cited in the end, that allow different people from different cultures to interpret it. And I'm sure there will be different interpretations. How should we proceed to choose one or analyze all of them?
Well, I guess the choice won't be much of a choice, I guess, in terms of choosing an interpretation over other interpretations. I think the interpretation seems to be very individual among humans. So, and also we saw among chimpanzees, they seem to have a very individual approach to the message, because the message also is a very abstract image. Also, we use this particular image. The result would be perhaps very different if we used an image that resembles a real object. So I think that departing from this very image already is somehow biased. And of course, I'm a visual artist, so I chose this image according to certain aesthetic criteria. But the process, I think we haven't completely defined the methodology across all species yet. So I don't know if, Marily, you would like to add anything. I'm sure you have more insights.
Yeah, well, I think that you've said it, it's really like, no, there's no right interpretation. It's just what are the ways that different individuals interpret it.
Exactly. Actually, the same problem with biosignatures. We can detect something and may not understand what kind of biology is there. The same with technology and everything else.
And one of the things that Danielle and I have talked about is that you do have to present it in ways that are salient, so to that organism's way of interacting with the world. So chimpanzees are visual, so this visual signal was salient to them. But if you present it to insects, they're gonna perceive it differently. So you'd have to present it in a way that is salient to them.
Okay, follow up question to Mary. Sorry. How would you avoid over-interpreting convergence? Meaning that if all chimpanzees react kind of similarly, does it mean right or proper reaction?
Yeah, again, just I think it would be I just rely on statistics. So, we did find some preliminary evidence that they were interacting more with the star map than the others, than the other images. It's a 1 in 3 chance that they'll pick up any of them.
Okay, continue with questions from Nick Sigler about star map. Is it possible that this particular structure of the star map, there are bright and dark patches, and the bright patches attract the attention, just not because they're clustered?
Yeah, I'll just say this keeps coming up. So, the idea is that they all had this similar reflectivity, but when you looked at it head on, it wasn't as reflective. It is from the side, but just to work around this, in the future we could just do it on paper. The problem is getting it back. You can see from the paper ones that after the chimps have had their day with it, sometimes it isn't in the same shape. So that's why we chose to do the laminates. But I think going forward, we would just use paper to avoid this issue of reflection.
Right, and the last question from Jan Tolman about differences and similarities between different species. So we have differences, but we have similarities, basically the same apparatus. And what do you think about that? How we bias with that? If we try to even use different species, we may still not be able to understand or interpret properly the message.
I'll maybe just share my thoughts. I'm also questioning this about the use of AI. So AI, we know it is very biased. So applying AI for qualitative and quantitative analysis is already an extremely biased approach. So ultimately, I think I'm motivated towards this project because I think it is interesting to try and apply these questions to other forms of intelligence and really explore the limits and strengths of all intelligences. And I think the question and answers are very open-ended in this research. But I think along the process there will be some useful insights for not only for SETI researchers, but also other researchers, artists, and also we just saw this paper published 2 days ago, which was pointed out by Marilee, who that shows that the methodology we used, we have already been sharing our process with other people. So it has been already influential in the field of animal studies. So there will be some hopefully interesting insights for all fields involved.
Thank you so much. But I want to warn you that this circle of scientists probably very picky. If you come next time with the talk that you use AI to avoid species, they will say AI is even more biased because it's trained on human materials. So
yeah, that is
think
exactly
that is
what
the
I
answer.
said. Yes.
So we use what we have. So don't be critical. Provide extraterrestrial materials, and then we will train intelligence on that. Thank you so much for your exciting talks, for everybody who spoken today so far. And we have 20 minutes break and see us past 20 past full hour for a final talk. So thanks a lot and big applause to everybody.
And you're welcome to go on break, but if you want to stick around, we're going to have the winners of the meme contest announced right now.
Okay. That's also entertaining, yes. Maybe we give 5 minutes break and then, or how long is this?
I think this will just take a couple minutes.
Okay,
Yeah,
then we do that. Let's do that.
Yeah, it shouldn't take long. I'm just going to share my screen and we'll get our winners announced. Sorry, let me close a few things. All right. Okay, so thank you everyone who participated in the meme contest. We got a lot of great entries all week. We've been having lots of laughs in the Slack channel. There were so many to choose from that it was hard to pick just 3, but we've got some honorable mentions here, things that we really appreciated. So here we've got this one from Delia Bibas. And then another one here from Jake D. Turner. Oh, sorry. Oh my God, I missed one. Sorry. And then this was the other one from Mark Elowitz.
Wow.
And now for our 3 winners. So our winners will be winning a free SciWorthy course. And for our Cosmic Favorite Award, this was the one that got the most emoji reactions in the Slack channel. That goes to Abel Mendez for the WOW signal. We've got our Interstellar Broadcast Award, which is going to George Profitiliatis. And then finally, for our Hector the Cat's Best in Show Award, it's going to Eric Corpella. So thank you all very much.
Bravo.
Yeah, it was all very good. We really enjoyed it.